Does your league hold the loser prize just as important as the winner? Then you need TrophySmack.com. Get your loser gear and winner gear at TrophySmack.com. Get yours today. Click now and go to TrophySmack.com.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. It is Friday night. And as you saw in that awesome intro, we got a new sponsor here on Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta, and I'm here with my co-host Mike, Classic Mike at that. What's up, Classic? How are you?
What up? It's Friday night, man. Let's get this thing going.
Let's do it, man. Tonight is the Start Sit show. So we will be taking your live Q&A throughout. We're going to go game by game like we do. Break things down, let you know who we're starting, who we're sitting. And we'll, of course, like I said, just get to your questions. That's, the most important part. We want to help you guys out and see what we got going on here this Sunday, man. So after that snooze fest of a game last night, we'll see how it goes.
I don't even think we should talk about it.
I don't. In place of that, I'm going to, as you guys see up in the corner right here, our new sponsor, man, TrophySmack.com. So you may or may not know, they're the ultimate destination for your fantasy sports, man. They're a place that creates designs, trophies, championship belts, rings. They even have chains that you can get for your championship. So check it out. Ooh, boom, just like that. See, Mike, you're on it. So definitely check it out, man. It's an awesome website. Make sure you go into our description right at the top there. You'll see the link to go there, check out the merchandise that they have. And it's pretty affordable, man. They got rings and stuff for only like 50, 60, 70
Sometimes
bucks.
they're even free.
Yeah.
They come with
with a gift and things like that. So they got a lot of deals on there, man. Whenever you do, check it out, man. Use that promo code Get Right, and it'll definitely support the channel and definitely bring something to your guys' leagues that will, make people want to play and play harder, man, to bring them that hardware. So I'm a belt guy myself, so I'm holding one with me right now. It's I can literally see it, an eye shot right here from me. So I'm gonna have to go grab it here. I should have been ready. I should have just had it ready.
Right.
But yeah, either way, man, we'll get to it. So let's just kind of start there, man. I don't want to spend very much time on this Thursday night football game. We had the Broncos versus Colts. We had a field goal fest. It was football and not football, apparently. I mean, Russ, I think, is definitely a sit at this point. It's hard to keep running them out there until we see something of them. Obviously, I think we've seen what kind of Javonte Williams kind of meant to this offense as well, because at least they looked kind of somewhat decent when he was there. But
I think Gordon looked fine, though.
He was kind of fine. I mean, he was kind of running scared, protecting the ball a lot.
Yeah, he literally ran like this.
Yeah, and that's not, that's not good. That's not what you're looking for. So it's going to be tough, man. I mean, Sutton, Judy.
Sutton should be fine.
I mean, they should be all right, but yeah, man.
Think of it as Stafford. I mean, to me, they look just like the Rams. They have now they're going to have a weak offensive line. They lost Garrett Bowles on their left side. That's not a good thing. That's going to be a huge hinder to that offense because he is the one. He's the cornerstone that they built that line on. So for me, that is a huge loss for them. I do think that Melvin Gordon should be fine moving forward. He's going to get bell cow type, running. Latavius Murray might eat into that eventually, and we'll see what happens from there. But at the same time, I think Sutton will be fine. I think he's going to be cupped to Stafford. I mean, like the same concept. It's just he's going to pepper him, and you saw it throughout the game. Like he would, even at the last play of the game, he literally focused on Cortland Sutton instead of looking at KJ Hamler, who was wide open.
Wow.
He
was
said it himself.
Or was it Judy?
It was KJ Hamler. It was Hamler. Yeah. He was pissed. And honestly, he should be, because that was and a lot of people made fun of the concept that they literally ran the exact same play, play that they ran in the Super Bowl, like the same type of rub route. and he just didn't look that way. And it just didn't make any sense. Like, throw it to the guy that's open, not to the guy that's your first read. And I love this. This was actually pretty funny that he got an INT in offense because he literally ripped it out of his own player's hand.
That
and
was
then
insane.
Gets credit. He gets credit for the catch.
That's hilarious. He's like, no, I'm getting these stats.
For sure. So other than that, I mean, Indy looked like crap. The only thing that was good about that game was Alec Pierce. I mean, Alec Pierce looked great in the secondary role for the wide receiver. He's finally coming out and doing something. I think he's had like 2 games with 8 straight targets at least every game. So I think he could be a solid, wide receiver 3 moving forward.
There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, anything else you want to talk about?
No, other than that, it was fine. I mean,
Get McManus, right?
No, I mean, Naeem Hines went down early, so then that screwed up everybody. Brutal. They actually, I heard for DraftKings and/or FanDuel, if you had Naeem Hines as a choice, they gave you your money back because it was within 2 plays and he was out and he looked bad going down. That looked like some
stumbling
stuff.
and that was terrible.
And a little bit of news from that. I mean, the NFL just passed today. They had the paperwork, ready to go, but they changed and took out that loophole. So now, even if you see your guy go down and stumble like that, he's done. They're not even going to try. They're not even going to do anything. You can almost assume that moving forward, that any guy that is ruled with a concussion is probably not coming back in. So unless I'm probably exaggerating it a little bit, but you could probably tell that they upticked their concussions last week. It went from I think it was 5 the week before, or I think there were only 4 or 5 in the first 3 weeks. And then week 4, there were over 15 and it was like that. So just be aware. It's going to be something that's going to be going on moving forward. And it's going to be a little bit scary because you're not going to know when your guy's coming back to. It could be out for the next 2 weeks. We don't know yet. So it's one of those, everyone's being very cautious. And exactly the way that Dustin just put it, the Tua rule. Exactly. And honestly, I mean, it's not really, I don't want to put his name on it because I don't think it's right for him to be that guy. But at the same time, this should have been, as Dustin said, it was much needed. This should have been done years ago, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
And what's crazy
that's my only thing about it.
I'm personally kind of feeling that here from the kind of the fallout effect. Apparently, I was at my son's game last night. He has a game going on tonight as well too. JV and varsity, plays on both teams as a junior, and
nice.
He told me they actually have 8 kids out right now with concussions, and actually one kid's not coming back because he's already had 3 concussions. So apparently once you get 3 concussions, in high school, or at least here in this district, they're not letting you play for the rest of the year. And that's smart, man, especially with these kids. And that's kind of crazy to me, and I asked him, I was like, did this happen in practice or is this just the games? He said it was in the game. So at least it's not something they're doing in practice, hitting hard or, having those helmet to helmet. And hopefully they're just teaching the kids how to tackle better. Obviously,
that's been a prerogative.
A situation with Tua is way different. He kind of got flung down, hit his head off the turf. That's always a tough deal, no matter any situation. But
they're teaching them better tackling so that you're not getting those helmet to helmet tackles. I mean,
when you're bracing yourself, you're bracing yourself, and these guys are running so fast, they're processing so much information.
Honestly, I didn't even see it for Naeem Hines. When you looked at the play
immediately.
No. You saw him get up as a concussion, with the stumble. I'm saying in the play itself, it didn't look like he got hit in the head.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
No, I that's why I saw it right away. I was like, ooh, because you could hear it.
It didn't look like it to me.
Yeah, and you kind of heard it too. So anyway, is what it is, man. I'm glad they're making differences. Obviously, it's going to affect fantasy football. Knowing these guys most likely aren't coming back now in these games, and it's going to be interesting if it's someone like. I mean, we obviously saw it with Tua, but Josh Allen. When we get into the playoffs, it could be a huge issue. So hopefully these guys are spending money on their backup quarterbacks.
And you can't predict. You can't predict these either. So it's one of those scenarios that it's some players that might be a little bit more prone to it. The ones that have had multiple concussions in their lifetime. I remember when Luke Kuechly was in, if he got a concussion, you knew he was out for like 3-4 games because he had so many. That's half of why he retired. All these different, situations. But in this case, we don't know what's going to happen. So you just got to be aware and just, learn how to pivot and find the next guy. And, it's hopefully everything works out. So I hope Tua is all right. I hope everyone that has been doing this has been all right. Hopefully a lot of people clear, but a lot of people, from what I keep seeing, they can, whoever was in concussion protocol, unless they're going into Sunday evening. What I keep seeing, they can. Oh, you're playing.
My bad. I know. Go ahead.
Unless you're going through Sunday evening, I don't see that player being cleared. Like, I just don't. Because everyone that plays, I think a lot of players were already ruled out at this point for concussion. So,
absolutely. All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll get away from this whole concussion
that was our
little soliloquy, and we'll move on from there. So yeah, man. Before we get into that, I just want to give a shout out to our affiliates here on the network. Our network's growing. We're bringing on other podcasts here. So as our support system. We hope you help and support them as well too by subscribing. Make sure you get into that description and check out the other shows here that'll be dropping on Get Right Fantasy Network. We have the Check Down podcast with Cody and Shirtless Pat and the fellas. Look at you, man. We got this thing going down now. I mean, we're like here, Mike. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. We're on it right now. So yeah, we got Cody and Shirtless Pat and the fellas over on the Check Down podcast. Make sure you check them out. They're dropping content at least once a week. You'll see them guest here on our shows as well too, whenever we can get them on. Make sure you go check out our boy Colin over at WAGMI Fantasy. See, almost. Yeah. Colin over at WAGMI Fantasy. Boom, there it is. At WAGMI Fantasy on Twitter. WAGMIFantasy.com. Great articles, great content. Make sure you sign up for that newsletter he has. Comes out every week. Just has a ton of information. He has his projections, rankings, a great guy, great fantasy mind. So go check it out. And then of course our newest edition. If you guys were here with us on Monday, you saw AJ and Tim join us here from the Fantasy Frontline podcast, man. So we're happy to have them. They just dropped their show earlier today. So make sure you go check it out. They're going to be doing more live stuff here coming up as well. So we're definitely excited and, happy to have them joining us here. So again, this is what we're doing, just reaching out to folks and getting these great minds together, give you guys as many different takes as we can. And of course, trying to kind of be that one-stop shop for you, and have enough, content for all you guys, man. So go check them out. All of their links are in the description down below. All right. So you want to just get into one of these games already and at least just kind of get this flow going?
Sure. I'm down with it. I mean, we got our first game, which is the London game. It's going to be my game. It's going to be Packers versus the Giants. Packers are going to be favored by 8 points. I mean, that has a lot to do with a few things that we're going to talk about. But the over-under is 41 points. Right now, the reason why this is such a lopsided, line at this point, Giants are going to be down a ridiculous amount of players, including their
every wide receiver.
Literally every wide receiver. They have, I think their starting wide receiver core is Richie James, Devin Sills, who's the third guy? I think it's like Johnson and some other guy. I don't even remember. Just because there's no one there anymore. Tyron Taylor didn't come at all. He was in concussion protocol and he couldn't clear before Friday. So for him, he couldn't make it. He didn't take the trip. Right now, they're also a little hurt on defense as well. They have a few players, edge rusher out. Aaron Robinson is still out. So they have a lot of missing pieces for this particular game. So for them, it's going to be tough. Daniel Jones actually went through practices and he should be okay. The hard part is what's going to be the focus. They're going to run the damn ball. And at the same time, they're going to have a hard time passing it. Jair Alexander is fine. He's ready to go. So Packers look like they're a little bit healthier. So this is going to be unfortunately, it might be a little bit of a one-sided game, but I think that, I'm taking the under on this, or not the under, I'm taking the points here. I'll take the Giants every time. But for now, starting, I mean, you got to start Barkley. That's
about it.
Yeah. Giants side, you're only going to start Barkley. And shut up, Dustin. I hate you so much. Then on the Packers side, I mean, you can definitely start up Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I think they're going to be fine. Right now, Romeo Doubs, man, this kid is looking good. I like Doubs. I'm a big fan. I think he'll be fine. He's been getting elite target share. Alan Lazard's doing okay too, but I'm at the point where I'm completely okay with playing Doubs at this point. Robert Tunyon's kind of just a mediocre play. And Aaron Rodgers is probably the steadiest floor for a QB1 at this point. He's like the lowest end of a QB1, getting 16 points for like the last 4 weeks. So if you need a guy that just gets you by and isn't Russell Wilson, he'll do for now.
There it is. And just going back to, and excuse me, I'm still a little under the weather. Good,
brother. That's why I want to talk. I'll talk.
Yeah, no, you're good. You'll see me take my breaks. I'm gonna try to mute it for you guys, so I'm not coughing in your ears here. But when it comes to Dobbs, 8 targets, the last 2 games, 73 and then 47 yards, but has had a touchdown in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So definitely emerging. But I also like Alan Lazard. I mean, he's been kind of looking like that guy as well too. For this team, and which also is helpful for those who have Rodgers, I think. So I think it's a good start for those guys. I think you're going to throw AJ Dillon in the hopes that they do get up early and they can kind of salt it away later. Hopefully they don't have what happened to them last week and people kind of come back on them and you got to do all that whole thing.
That was the worst play in the world. If whoever ended up watching that game, there was a delay of game that they scored a touchdown on, which made no sense. It was like 4 seconds past the freaking clock. I don't understand how that went, got away. And then they allowed the touchdown. So I played the Packers D. I was a little pissed off.
Right. Yeah. And, Lazard's coming off that 8 target, 6 catches for 116, didn't get in the end zone for like the first time in I don't know how long. But, even against, that tough New England defense was still able to put up 8 for 116. So definitely not a bad outing, especially in PPR. The targets are going to go most likely between those 2 guys. And, maybe Tunyon gets lucky and gets in the end zone. If you're in a situation with Pitts or something like that, you need to pick him up. I think he's an okay start. So that's kind of who I'm thinking about. Otherwise, I'm, Packers pretty much all good. And same with you, just Barkley on the other side.
You can play any tight end against the Giants and be fine. I mean, they just picked up Landon Collins. So, Landon Collins is back. That's the only hope I have that they can stop the tight end. Unfortunately, we are not that great against them. I mean, granted, we haven't played a lot of good teams with good tight ends. I mean, we had Cole Kmet and Austin Hooper and, a beat up Dalton Schultz. Well, we didn't even face Dalton Schultz. We faced some second, nobody. So Giants look better on paper against tight ends, but they are not good against the tight end. So,
right. So, yeah. All right. So we can move on. You want to lead us into this Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills game, or you got anything else on that one?
Sure. I mean, there is a question in the chat. PPR flex, Terry McLaurin, ETN, Elijah Moore, Antonio Gibson could use some help from the chat. Stranded at second. Thanks, Elijah Moore. Paper Giants. Thanks.
Ron says Terry. To me, how I would rate them is I'd go Terry, ETN, Moore, and then Gibson. Reason being, I'll start from the back. Obviously, some potential rumblings. I'm sure we'll get into it here with Robinson coming back. Elijah Moore. We see Corey Davis is still a thing over there with Wilson, so that's why he's not a little higher. ETN has some potential here in this game to have a little bit of a breakout. Has a little bit, of a floor. I mean, he is getting kind of 10 touches a game, which will get you something in a flex and a PPR. But overall, Terry McLaurin is still like a wide receiver 2 for me. So to me, that takes the cake. So I'm with you there, Ron.
That's fine. I like that particular order that you put them in. Same thing. Paper Giants. Ugh, I hate you, Ron. Hate all these NFC East.
Did you get to Tony Clark's message up here?
Tony
already
Clark.
while I was talking or something?
No, I didn't.
All right. He said, by the way, guys, sports bet guarantee this week is Christian Kirk over 62.5 receiving yards. I'm putting 5 dimes on the over versus Houston.
Yeah, I would too. I would too.
So there you go. Good luck with you, Tony. Can't wait to see you on Sunday to see what else crazy you do.
Oh my God.
Let us know, man. I love it. Gets us juiced and excited. We'll all be here with you. We might have to dedicate a page on our website just to track
just for him
and see how you're doing, man. So it's fun, man. We could ride the roller coaster with you, brother. So good luck to you this Sunday.
Holy crap. He just picked up Terry off of waivers. That's bad. I don't know anybody.
Team?
I'm assuming a 10 or an 18 because there's no way I'm dropping Terry unless I absolutely had to.
Wow.
I mean, I know he's been underproducing like crazy, but I mean, geez.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with Dotson out. That was the other thing.
No,
I mean,
now Dotson's out.
So, yeah.
And it's
you should be there. And Curtis Samuel's just kind of being sick. So, yeah, there it is. So, what's up, Will Hayes? It says, what's up, guys? Should I start Herbert or Stevenson PPR?
I'm going to go Stevenson there. And it's the matchup. Herbert is going to be having David Montgomery as questionable. He will. I mean, they're going to test it out, of course, game time, see how he's doing. But from the look of it, it looks like he should be okay. I'm going to look at the injury report real quick just to double check. He got a limited practice in all week on Thursday and Friday, so he could be good to go this week, and it's only an ankle. So we'll wait and see. But unless he's ruled out, I'm good with running with Stevenson. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but the Detroit Lions are one of the easiest teams to run against, and they are going to lean on the run for their third string QB. So I'm good with Stevenson.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's tough for me.
Yeah. Well, because the whole thing with Montgomery.
If Montgomery comes back, and again, this is why you got to come back with us on Sunday here with Classic Mike. I'll be in the chat most likely, not in front of the camera because that's crazy.
I'll be up nice and early for the Giants game.
Yeah, I got to get my lineup straight and do all that. It's just a little too much for me on Sunday, but I do like popping in. That's why I just let you talk and I start doing my stuff anyway. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, I had Herbert at 15. If Montgomery wasn't going to play, I had Stevenson down at 22. Just because there were just kind of other guys I kind of feel a little more comfortable starting against them or ahead of him, including Harris, who I do have just 2 spots ahead of him. I had Gordon right in between at 21, Harris at 20, and Stevenson at 22. And if DeMont comes back, I mean, you want to hear like, oh, is he going to be limited? Or are they going to kind of share it this first, thing back? But if anything shows us, last year when this same thing happened, I mean, Herbert tore it up for like 2-3 games in a row. Yeah. As soon as Montgomery came back, he was 20 touches. I think they gave him like 25 his first game back, like something ridiculous. But again, it's a different coaching staff, obviously different offense. So we'll see. So yeah, I mean, I'll have to adjust that depending on what happens on Sunday. So appreciate it, Will. Any more questions? Make sure you drop them down.
I think they're all just chatting in there about everything.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep it lively. We'll move on to this next game here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Buffalo Bills. We got the Bills favored by 14, 45.5 point over under. What they think this score is going to be 42-3.
Yeah.
is basically what's going on here. But yeah, so tell me what you're thinking about this game, Classic.
Yeah, I mean, Bills defense is a little banged up. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are going to be out for this one. But being favored by 14 is a good sign for the Buffalo Bills. Isaiah McKenzie's questionable with Dawson Knox. He's going to be out this week. Gabe Davis is going to be fine. He'll be fine. He had full practices this week. He'll be fine. I think Singletary is actually a good play this week. He led the backfield, had 56 snaps of the offensive snaps. That's 88% of the run, way over Zach Moss and James Cook. So for me, I'm completely okay. Steelers are middle of the pack against the run, so I'm pretty confident with Devin Singletary this week. I forgot where I had him, but I have him in the top 20. I'm liking Jordan Pickens on the Pittsburgh Steelers side, we got Kenny Pickett starting, for real this week. He'll be his first start. Right now, right now, Buffalo is one of the toughest defenses to play against. So for me, I'm not really playing I don't want to play Pickens this week. If I have better options, I'm going to play them. Deontay is going to be okay, but I think Freiermuth is the best play for the Steelers, just because, rookie quarterbacks love the tight end. And you can see when he came in, he just targeted Freiermuth throughout the game. He'll be fine. Harris, unless you have better options, I'm not playing him. That Buffalo defense is tough against the run. I know you got to play him in most situations, but if you have, I don't know, cooking, no. If you have like Chubb and Barkley and Harris, which is definitely possible, I'm not playing Harris. I'd rather play somebody else. So,
yeah, hot take. Where do you actually have Harris ranked this week?
I have him pretty decently high. I mean, he's
Najee?
still about. Yeah, I have him at 9, but
Against
it's
that
just,
defense.
I'm lowering him as I go. But the thing is that I'm trying to find guys that I would play. Like I'm trying to think of the grouping that I would play above him. And
I have Najee at RB 27 this week.
Yeah, I'd probably move him to 20 if anything. His volume alone is one of those things that is one of his biggest help. Like that's his biggest, upside.
Yeah.
But that line is doo-doo, and going against the Bills, I don't see it.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, it's gonna be tough. Hopefully, Wilson, you hang in there, buddy. Your Steelers, they're not looking that great, but maybe Pickett can, give him a little boost there, and we'll see what he can do. Definitely excited to see. I want to see what happens with this whole Pickens thing, and obviously he's been this hot issue coming off the wire, or people stashing him, thinking obviously thinking they've been connecting in practice and that type of thing. We'll see if they have some chemistry. Looked okay at the second half of last week.
Yeah.
Like
8
so we'll see if it
at
can
the
continue.
second half.
Yeah. And who knows what happens though after going through a full week of practice, running as the starter, running with the ones. He might have found out that Deontay Johnson's probably the best probably the best guy on that team as far as wide receivers go, and I'm sure they're going to scheme ways to get the ball
they're going
into
to
his
check
hands.
down. They're going to check down the Freiermuth. That's going to be their plan.
I don't know. I mean, they might have to keep him in to block a little more too. So
true, but the thing is that they don't have Poyer and Hyde coming off the edges, so I don't see them using it like that. I think that they're going to be a little bit more underneath route and in the middle of the field to just make easier throws for Pickett to run if he's going to do it at all. And like I said, they're going to run Najee because they're going to try to give Pickett a little bit of room to kind of work his way back in, work his way in against this really good defense. I just don't see him being effective. Like he can have like a Mixon day of 24 and 60. That's about it. I don't think he's going to do anything crazy.
All right. Well, there it is. Let's move on. Keep the questions coming in the chat. We're going to get through one more game here, and then we'll get to your guys' questions. So let's get into this next game here. We have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. We have the Chargers favored by 2.5 with a 47-point over under. Tell me about this game here. Who you starting? Who you sit?
Yeah. I mean, Keenan Allen's going to be out this game. He's going to be out for a few weeks. So just be ready for that.
I got Mike Williams in my DFS lineup this week.
There you go. Mike Williams, lock and load. He's good to go. I think Everett's fine as well. This is going to be a really good game for Eckler. Right now, I think Cleveland is like 22nd or more against the run. So for me, I'm good with Eckler. Joshua Palmer is a really sneaky play. He will be a good DFS play as well. I think he is somebody that is going to get involved a lot more than people think. I think for redraft, it's a little hard to play him unless you are in a really, really tough situation. Browns, right now, you're good with Chubb and Henry. They should be fine. Cooper has been just disappointing the last week. I think he'll continue to ebb and flow throughout the next few weeks. So it's a little hard to tell what's going to happen with him. He does have a tough matchup against J.C. Jackson this week. and just that Chargers defense in general. I think he's going to have a rough game. Right now, Njoku seems to be doing okay. He's seeing 92% of the snaps. He saw 7 targets, off 34 routes. So
and
honestly,
completely off the injury list this week, I believe now too, right?
I'll double check for you, but honestly, he's been fine. Yeah, he was full practice all week, so he's fine.
Yeah.
So honestly, I didn't even care about. I mean, he's been doing the rest day on Wednesday and playing throughout. He should be fine moving forward. It's really one of those things that Derwin James is probably going to be covering for 90% of that game. So, if you feel okay, if you have no other option, of course, Njoku's fine. But he's one tight end that I would probably sit.
All right.
Yeah.
As for me, I mean, I think you said it, like Palmer, probably kind of the only sneaky play you might be able to get in if you're in a, situation. You got Mike Thomas out, something like that. He could be a, guy to shoot for in this type of offense.
Yeah.
And I think you hit the nail on the head on the other side of the ball as well, too. I think if you need to, you're starting both, running backs here. I'm personally starting Njoku. If you can, I'm starting him over Schultz this week on one of my teams.
Oh, no, that I would do.
Yeah. So just, certain things like that. So I don't think he's just like a sit,
No.
I mean, again, Derwin James is good. I mean, we all saw what he did to Kelsey a couple weeks ago. So, I mean,
he's a very, very soft sit. Like, it's one of those, like, if you don't have
a better option, but tight end's pretty gross anyway. So he's not that bad of the gross options you have. And then do you think, is there anybody else here? But I mean, you kind of already said it, but I mean, I'm not a big Cooper fan, for the most part anyway. He had a couple good games,
it's so hard
bad
to play
games
him this week.
Boom or bust. Really got to see, till Watson comes back. Is it going to be different? But I don't really think Brissett's really been playing that bad. I mean, compared to what we seen Watson do in the preseason, Jacoby's looked a lot better than Watson did in the preseason. I'll tell you that.
That was going to be my next thing is that you guys got to remember the ones that held on to Watson and looking to play him after week 11. You have to remember.
Well, it's week 13 or 12.
12.
No,
well, that's why I said. I just said after week 11 just to give him room. But my point is that either way, the guy hasn't played football in over a year and a half, if not 2 years.
Almost 2 years now, yeah.
Understand that he's going to be very raw, even though he's an amazing talent.
Like, look at what happened to Russell Wilson just from going to a new team.
God,
I mean, come on. So, like, don't.
We'll have another conversation another day.
We'll go about that. Yeah, we'll take that one.
Actually, we're going to bring that into the next game because I want to talk about this particular scenario that I had. To me, this is the game.
Oh, yeah, the Whispers, Big Travie told you sorry on the stream earlier.
Did he? I didn't watch.
Oh. Yeah, you have to go back and watch it.
I messaged him later.
And I have to say sorry too, man, because I was right there.
Everybody told me Wilson.
You even ran a poll and everything.
I did. There was only one place that I did that I looked around and they said Trevor Lawrence. And I'm like, well, if it's only 1 out of like 10, I'm like, I'm not going to go that route.
Let me know that source because I want to start asking them my sit questions.
So I sat there and I'm like, no, my gut was telling me the whole time, play Trevor Lawrence. Because I'm gonna.
Oh, you wanted to play Trevor Lawrence over Burrow in our co-managed team this week.
I did, and
I put a stop to that immediately.
Well, I don't know, man.
It's still not over. I mean, you can always switch it. We'll talk about it on Sunday.
We'll talk about it, but I'm right now. The Houston Texans are at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, let's just do it. Let's set it up.
I'm doing it now.
Oh, you did it. My bad. I was a half a step behind. I was reading Tony Clark's. Whenever Tony Clark writes something, I got to read it. Like it's interesting. Of course. But go ahead. Set it up.
So the Houston Texans are at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags will be favored by 7 in this game. That's one reason why for me this is a game of the week. Over-under is 43.5 points as well, so a decent over-under for both teams. Right now, Trevor Lawrence has been lighting up the field. I understand that he had a rough game. He really did. He had a very rough game against Philadelphia in the rain. It was bad. I wasn't expecting good things from that, from that happening in general. But before that, he's been doing fantastic. I think he is understanding of what he needs to do. I think before last week he was not sacked until the Philly game. So for me, I think this is a big game for Kirk, Lawrence, and I think James Robinson as well, because they are one of the worst team. Texans are one of the worst teams against the run. They are actually 29th against the run. I see them just running the ball, keeping the ball, keeping everything just close to the vest. Right now, Zay Jones is questionable to play, so they could get him back for this game. At this point, you have, Kirk, like I said, good play. Lawrence should be fine too. I keep telling people he's going to be the QB2 this week. But I don't think, I don't have him that high, but I do think that he is a very good play this week. Jacksonville, I do on their side, on Houston's side of the ball. You're going to play Dameon Pierce. He's a solid play. Just let it, just play him. But for me, the other player that I want to play is Nico Collins. Nico Collins looks pretty solid. He's been getting at least 8 targets to 50 yards every week. He's actually a pretty decent play. So I'm saying like a low end wide receiver 2 flex option if you want to play him. I actually have the choice of playing Josh Reynolds or Nico Collins. Like that's my wide receiver 3 scenario. And right now I'm going to probably play Josh Reynolds.
Out. I'm going Reynolds. I threw him in last week. It was good. It was scary though, but he should have had another touchdown. So
Lions actually, I looked at the numbers for Reynolds and he's actually led the not led the team, but he's more the wide receiver 2 than Clark or DJ Chark has been.
Yes.
So I'm very comfortable with a guy like him. Huh?
And don't sleep on Cleve Freeman either.
No, agreed. I like Cleve Freeman very, I think they're both good. But definitely in this particular case, Josh Reynolds has a good relationship with Jared Goff. So for me, I have to figure out that, those two, but I do think that Nico Collins does have a nice game. I forgot who the guy was off the top of my head. He was on with Dave Kluge today on Sleeper HQ. I forgot the name of the guy, Matt. I have to look it back up, but he was on there today saying he felt the same way about Nico Collins. So definitely someone I am looking into. He's a low end. He's like one of those like DFS plays that if I have money, I'm going to play him. Redraft, I might play him if I have my situation, which I don't have a wide receiver 3, unless I want to play Allen Robinson. And unfortunately, I don't want to do that. So
I might have to be stuck doing that this week, but we'll get into that later. All right. So, you pretty much took care of that one. I'm not going to add on to that.
Yeah, there's not much going on in that game.
Yeah,
it's pretty one-sided in my,
The only thing I wanted to actually add on to that, now that I remembered, was I know you said, with ETN, it's probably going to be more a James Robinson game.
Yeah.
Efficiency-wise, ETN is a little more explosive. So
agreed.
There's a good chance ETN might hit a big play in this one, and we might see his little a breakout, if you will, if he can hit like a nice 30, 40 yarder, because he is a little more explosive than James Robinson right now as he's working his way back from that Achilles. So just kind of keep that in mind. They are giving up the most rushing yards and all that kind of stuff. And I think there is an opportunity for ETN. But just, again, it is a biased take because I'm heavily invested in ETN in a couple places. So
wow, look who it is. I haven't seen them boys on here in a minute.
He's been busy, doing, man, brother. Taking care of those kids. Dem Boys Jr. matchup against you this week, sending gifts to you guys, going back and forth.
I had to start it up. I had to.
Yeah, no, that was good. Why are you picking on it? Why are you pick on someone your own size, Mike?
Fun.
It's all right. Shout out to Mike for 4-0 in our that's the listener league, right?
Yeah.
Or is that the ambassador league?
Listener league. The listener league.
Yeah. So shout out to that. We'll have to get an update on those leagues here soon. We are 4 games in, so maybe we'll do that on Monday.
One of these days, I want to break down like a draft, like a mock draft that we all did at one point or another, and see what that team would be like now.
Oh, I just want to do a mock now just to kind of see, after a month, just to see where we're taking people. It'd be interesting to see. So
yeah.
Shout out to the Fantasy Frontline podcast. They ran a mock the other day.
Nice.
I was watching it, so that was fun. So I think that was like the last show they did before they came on here under Get Right Fantasy Network. So, excuse me. So check it out, man. So before we get into this next game here, he said he's doing. So am I, man. I'm 0-4. I think in the listener league, the ambassador league, and the only league I'm kind of okay in is this got left out league. So shout out to ACG.
Nice.
That's like the only league I'm doing okay in as far as our listener leagues and the Get Right leagues. Otherwise, I'm but I'm doing okay in my money home leagues though.
Oh, we're doing bad in the podcast league.
Yeah, no, and we're just an abomination there. I've never had so many 0-4 teams like
I
before. Like
know.
that's how off football is this first month. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it all ends up playing out, coming together. I do have Brian Robinson and Jameson Williams stashed in a couple places, so I'm waiting for that. I kind of expected some of this to happen, and hopefully we can catch fire here in the end. So again, I apologize for the coughs and the clearing of the throats here, you guys. So with that said, let me while I get a chance to get my throat cleared, while we take a quick little break here. All right. That was cool, man. Look at that. Got a little commercial break there. What's up, Albert? Got Albert in the house here. That's what's up. See, I'm better now. I got that drink in me. We're good. We're good. All right. So let's get into this next game, man. We got Chicago Bears at Minnesota Vikings. We got the Vikings favored by 7.5, 44-point over-under. Please tell me this is the game that Justin Jefferson, it's a get-right game, right?
I would think so. I mean, this is a better matchup for them altogether. I mean, Minnesota has been doing better. They did okay last week. I mean, they had a rough game, to say the least, but they snuck one through. This looks like it's going to be a decent matchup. Dave Montgomery is going to be questionable, like I said before. I think in this case you might need to play Herbert just in case, even if Montgomery's out, even if he's playing. Minnesota's 27th against the run, so one way or another, someone's going to eat and someone's going to do fine. Mooney finally made an appearance. I mean, I'm not playing him anywhere, but he finally made an appearance. Someone that you might want to just keep an eye on, put on your bench if you need somebody. They're probably one of the highest run rated teams in the league, so they're going to run the ball. Vikings, of course,
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you go with Jefferson, you go with Thielen, Dalvin Cook. You can't really not. I think Cousins might be a good play this week as well. Chicago's just middle of the pack against the pass, so I think he should be fine as well.
Yeah, and just a question from back above. Remember, he was asking about Herbert over Stevenson. He also has Montgomery, so if Montgomery ends up playing, are you playing Montgomery over Stevenson?
I actually like Stevenson because of the matchup. Like, I like his situation a little bit better. Montgomery could be lightly used. You know what I mean? Like, they could easily just throw him in for 5 to 10 targets or touches. So for me, I just think Stevenson will get more run. I think each of those guys are going to carry at least 15 times. That's just my own opinion. And I think that for PPR league, I think Stevenson is even more valuable because I think they're going to just dump it off to him. So
there you go. Did we ever get to this one, J Media? What's up, my fellow?
Oh, no, we didn't mention this because at this point I don't even know how to answer this question, to be honest. You can't drop him, but if you have a better option, then drop him. He's not one of those. He's one of those
backfilled until he gets hurt.
Yeah, of course.
But you can't. He has no standalone value. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not like a Kareem Hunt or Michael Carter, like someone you can, Stevenson. Like, he's not a guy you could just, play.
But the thing is, Penny makes him that way. Penny is one of those people that he could get hurt tomorrow or any day.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be the number one waiver claim if Penny gets hurt on Sunday. So that's the risk you have to be willing to take. If you have an extra spot, throw a guy in IR. You can hold him, through the weekend. But if there's a waiver wire option that comes up next week that benefits and, helps your team, he's somebody I would say you could drop, but, just understand you may have to use a claim or, spend some fab to get him back when you already had him. So, nothing that we didn't expect already, is all I can say about that. So, real quick here, we got Ron saying those are my boys over at the Fantasy Frontline. So again, big shout out. Appreciate the support. Make sure you guys hit them with the subscribe. The links are in our description. Make sure you check that out. So did we get here? What's up, Jonathan Smith? What up, guys? Is Amon-Ra supposed to play? He keeps going in and out of my lineups, has projected for 0 one day and 17 another.
Yeah, he got I think he got a limited practice in today. Let me double check. We're not on that game yet, but from what I can guarantee, from what I looked at, he got a limited practice in this week. It was on Friday only, so he was out Wednesday, Thursday, practice limited on Friday. They did say that Friday would be the determining factor if he would play or not. I would see this more as a game time decision and more on the 50-50 side compared to, like 70-30 or something like that. So right now, I don't know if he plays. If I was there and watching him,
on
I could
Sunday, right? That's a teaser for Sunday.
I keep forgetting teasers. Come back Sunday, and
I will tell you Sunday, man.
11:30. We'll have that conversation.
Eastern.
I promise.
Clarify.
Ooh, sorry, 11:30 Eastern.
Yeah, that fake time. You guys start a weird time.
Hey, man, we start early enough that we can watch that Giant game early, and you guys are going to be still sleeping.
Yeah, I'll definitely be asleep. That's what we got DVR for, man. All right, we got Jacob, Hurt, and Samuel, Jamal, and Thielen. Pick two quickly. Pick two. Got them boys here.
I like Kirk a lot, but I think I might stick with Jacobs. I'm always going to lean. Oh, you have Jamal in there too? Jamal. I like Jamal.
Jamal and who? Got to pick two.
Oh, there's two? Jamal and Jacobs. I'd rather take the running backs because I know that they're going to get volume. I don't know what the volume. Yeah, guaranteed touch, volume. Kirk is probably my top wide receiver out of those three. It would probably
just rank him. Just rank
Kirk.
Him. That's the easiest way to do it.
All of them?
Yeah, just put them in order.
Jamal, Jacobs, Kirk, Samuel, Thielen.
I would just switch Thielen and Samuel, but I'd still go the same.
But you're still going to go with the two running backs.
Yeah, and I don't even like Jacobs. But
I don't like Jacobs either, but his matchup is pretty good against,
I just don't like the Raiders, man. It's just
of course you just have that. You have that bias that you got to get by.
I just for whatever reason I was like,
No, you got to get.
The same reason I don't like Latavius Murray. I just realized why Murray was like the hot thing, and I was like, oh, it's because he was a Raider.
So good though.
No, it's because he was a Raider. Like I just remember why I didn't like him. Like there's just this thing that's been in my head. But that's what it was. Yeah. No, it is. Absolutely it is. I mean, it totally is. I'm not like you. I'm not like a Giants fan that loves all the Cowboys. Like I hate my rivals.
Okay.
Like it's just
one of those, what you did there.
It's just born in me.
Yeah.
No, a little jab.
Half PPR. I'm definitely going.
Definitely the running backs for sure. Yeah. All right. So we'll move it on here. Keep the questions coming, guys. Drop them in here. Stranded on second with Tony Clark said Kirk definitely. So he's against us with those. Okay. Tony, let us know if being half PPR makes a difference on Kirk. Would you rather start the running backs over the wide receiver there? So let's see. He says also I do have Higbee, Fairmouth, both have tough matchups, but I'm leaning Higbee just because of the targets. I would agree, especially in a PPR, half PPR.
I was going to go with Fairmouth.
I'm going Higbee.
I was going to go Fairmouth just because Stafford's not going to have a leg to stand on against Dallas. I think Fairmouth might be your better bet. I think Pickett's just going to keep touching it, throwing down.
Split decision. All right, so keep the questions coming. We'll get to them. We'll get through the rest of these games here. I might have to take off here a little bit, Mike, but I know you can finish it.
No, I got you
here for us. But I'll let you know. So we next game we got Detroit Lions at New England Patriots. We got the Patriots favored by 3, 45.5 point over under. We've been kind of talking about Amon-Ra. Swift obviously has already been ruled out. Who we starting here? Is Khalif Raymond an option? We kind of talked about Josh Reynolds already. It sounds like we're definitely starting, Williams on that side of the ball. We've talked about Stevenson and, Harris. They're definitely, kind of must starts here against this Detroit defense. What are we feeling on some of these other fringe guys?
So, I mean, right now, this is going to be running backs. This is going to be you should be smashing the under on this game. I think it's going to be literally run the ball and, play defense, because in this particular case, the New England Patriots and the Detroit Lions are 31-32 against the run. So for me, both teams are just horrible against the run. You're playing every running back you can in this game. Jamal Williams, of course, Damian Harris, Stevenson, I'm good with all those guys. I think Josh Reynolds is the better option for the for the wide receiver in this particular case. You're going to play TJ Hawkinson too. I mean, TJ Hawkinson's been doing well. I also think Hunter Henry isn't a horrible option. It's the same theory that I have again, with Kenny Pickett. They love the safety valve, the check down guy, whoever is going to be in that intermediate to, short route, which in this case is the tight end, and Hunter Henry can run that. So for me, I think that Hunter is a good play. I think Hawk is a good play. Honestly, the over-under for this might be high, but I think that the overall scoring is going to be low. I think they're just going to run the damn ball the whole time. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about Aguilar and Parker for the New England side of the ball. We only saw 99 yards. I mean, we know how much New England loves this quarterback. There was a report out that they got pissed off. I think Robert Kraft got pissed off at Belichick for not starting Zappe over Brandon Hoyer. Like, there was a thing about that was out there. So honestly, it's one of those things where I would just, I would kind of fade the wide receivers till we know more, but definitely running backs in this game are going to be heavy. So those are my guys, and I'm not starting Zappe.
Definitely.
I don't care how bad the Detroit Lions are.
Right. Not much else to say about this one. We've discussed these guys. They're going to be, I'm sure, come up in more
questions.
Goff.
Goff is going to be a big play.
So we'll move on. Seattle Seahawks at New Orleans Saints. We have the Saints favored here by 5. 45-point over-under on this one. Michael Thomas, we got the news. He's out today. Winston's going to be out. Yep. Are we starting Alvin Kamara here against the Seahawks? It looks like he's going to be playing in this one, at least for now.
Yeah.
Might be a last-minute no-go again, so definitely keep your eye on him.
Oh, definitely keep your eye on it.
But yeah, so tell me what you're thinking here about this game.
I mean, honestly, I don't like Kamara unless you have a better option. We had a discussion in our sleeper channel that someone was wondering about Alvin Kamara, J.K. Dobbins, and I forgot the other guy. And I went Dobbins. Like, until further notice, I'd rather not play Kamara. The rib injuries are very hard to manage. You can't do anything, and it's a pain tolerance issue. You can wear the Kevlar. That will only help with some impact. End of the day, it's going to take longer to heal. And he definitely had last week, he didn't feel well enough to play. He might feel a little better today, but if he takes a hit to the ribs, he's going to get hurt. So for me, I'd rather play the healthier guy. In this case, it would be Dobbins. So for me, he's a little bit lower on my list. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks are 19th against the run. That's not horrible. That's not great. So I just would avoid it altogether. Jarvis Landry is also listed as questionable, but I do like Chris Olave in this particular game. That the Seattle Seahawks are last against the pass. So for me, I am hitting Chris Olave. Like, he is the guy that I want. Seahawks, I mean, Geno's been looking good. I think he's a solid QB2 starter. I think he's right at that cusp of QB 12, 13 at this point. I mean, he's been doing real well. Saints are probably more of a favorable matchup to him in one way or another. Penny, I don't understand. He's been underwhelming here and there. He did score a touchdown last week, but I'm still in between on him. I think Lockett's a sneaky play, and me and you had this argument during the week about Lockett, and for me, he's Mr. Consistent. Consistency. He had 11 targets through 2 games and then 8 last week. I mean, the guy is getting at least, what is that average? At least 9 targets a game. So for me, I'd rather have Lockett there. I do like Metcalf. Metcalf's fine. He's just a boomer bust play. He's one of those guys that will go down the field and take it. So,
yeah. As for me, I'm just waiting for Geno to kind of turn back into Geno eventually here. So that's just my only concern, especially with
he does come up and come down.
Yeah. And, as we were arguing, I guess it was an argument. We were having a nice little conversation.
It was a good chat. You just hate Lockett so much.
It's not even a hate thing. I just, I happen to, look through my best ball teams, which were over 60 teams, plus my 10 redraft and dynasty teams I play, and did a little search for Lockett and found I only had him on 3 teams out of 72, I think. So that just kind of shows you. I wasn't drafting him. So I really don't have any, dog in the fight, I guess you would say, when it comes to him. So, it's just weird. I don't really have a feeling towards him. He's just one of those players I kind of avoid, kind of like Josh Jacobs. Like they could produce this or that. It just, if I were to get him, it wouldn't happen. So I just kind of stay away.
I tried trading for him. It just didn't work out.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I think you were offering something good, but you didn't want to give up. I
was offering Jeff Wilson, and then I looked at it. I'm like, I'm offering the RB26 to the wide receiver 39, I think it was. And I'm like, no way. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with Wilson is he's only going to be.
No, I understand that too, but at least it's a value for now.
Right. Which you have to kind of play for now. You can't play for.
Oh, no, I get it. But I have to wait until he has like
6 games from now.
I have to wait until he has 2 or 3 consistent weeks for anybody to be like, yeah, sure. And then I can maybe try to buy high, but that's my own, approach.
Exactly.
So we got.
That's the only thing I really had, kind of different on this game. I do like Olave. Landry might be hit or miss. He should definitely, have, see a good amount of targets. I would think, between 5 and 7 targets at least, with Thomas being out. But hopefully those targets get funneled, more towards Kamara. I do have him actually ranked, it sounds like a little higher than you. I have him at my RB10 this week. That's what I think he could potentially do. Kamara.
Yeah, you have him much higher.
So again, I just like to, kind of point out the things we're a little different on. So other than that, pretty much agree with where you're at or not too far off. And we'll go from there. So well done. All right. So what do we got in here?
We got Patrick. What's going on, Patrick? So, what's up? I'm in a jam. If Khalil Herbert goes, do I replace him with Josh Jacobs, Jeff Wilson, or Christian Kirk? I would probably play Wilson over Khalil Herbert. That's just me. I think volume alone in that scheme, I'd rather have him. Christian Kirk isn't a horrible option, but as you said, if St. Brown doesn't go, I can put Kirk in. So I think you're in a good spot there. I really would rather. I think Kirk is the better option over Smith or Dobbs in this case. So for me, it's Jeff Wilson and or Christian Kirk at that point.
Pretty much agree.
Yeah,
with you there. So
and then Warrior Law
Jacobs. So
he's trying to go into DST, and this one's easy, brother. I mean, you got to play your best guy, and you have the 2 best defenses in the league. I think that playing against Pickett is the better option. And, even though the Eagles,
the
Eagles one I like as well. And that's because we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the Cardinals O-line is banged the fuck up. They have nobody. They got 3 linemen out. So for me, you're good either way. I think it's one of those just play anyone you want.
You're like splitting hairs at that point. It might be a 3 or 4 point difference, but
you have 2 aces.
Sometimes that's sometimes that's the difference. So I'd go Bills. I think everybody is saying Bills. That's the play. If it happens to be the other way, you could be the contrarian. But for me, you just kind of start the Bills, and
it's gonna be like 10 points or 9 points. Like that's the difference of what you're playing today.
Yeah. I mean, if TJ Watt was there too.
If TJ Watt was there, I'd automatically.
Or not TJ Watt. JJ Watt. Oh, I think he is. He is back, right?
No. Wrong one. Wrong team.
Oh, wrong. I'm talking both brothers. Just we're not talking even about those defenses. So
you're in the wrong.
We're good.
You're in the.
That's
no, if Jordan Poyer and Mika Hyde were there,
or Mika Hyde. See, I'm going the other defense.
I would be a little bit more on the Bills, but I do think that they'll be fine without them. So I think you're good that way.
There it is.
I think you'll be fine.
I'm not talking any more defense.
Yeah. We'll do kickers. We can do kickers in a minute.
Please no. All right. So what else we got here? Dustin saying it's so weird to have DK and never have started him.
I start him every week.
What's this world coming to? I've been high on DK for the value. I still thought
DK is my wide receiver 1 in the listener.
Yeah. If I can trade Pitts, do it. Devonta Smith for Higbee. Do you guys think that's smart, or go for Kittle Little?
I don't know if I would do that.
This is crazy. So where you drafted Pitts probably in the third round, and you're going to trade him. You're going to trade him and Devonta Smith, which was probably like a 7th or 6th round pick,
who was like
for Higbee, who didn't even get drafted.
Yeah.
He was on the waiver wires until like week 2 or 3, coming off injury. It's just insane. We're only 4 weeks in. I think you got to hold on to Pitts, man. You invested too much.
Well, no, he's not playing this week, so I understand why he's trying to trade him, so you can at least get somebody for this week.
Just stream somebody in that spot, man. I mean, you've been getting it by now.
Find a different way to get rid of Pitts, though. Like,
I mean, you can try to trade. Yeah, but the problem is if you're the guy who drafted Pitts in that spot,
oh, you're screwed.
I mean, other people. I mean, if you're like if you were at the end of round 3, and all those people passed on him, if all those people passed on him, you probably don't have a trade partner because they probably weren't feeling. It just depends on how your league feels about Pitts.
Yeah.
Just in general, but again, it only takes one. So,
and I apologize for this one because they spell their name so similar to Micah Parsons that I always get it confused, and I keep forgetting that he has the A at the end of it, so I always get confused by that.
Oh yeah.
And Patrick, I know you're leaving, but for you,
he is throwing the kickers out there.
I know. I wanted to at least get this out of the way because he was leaving.
I'm going, dude. McPherson's the man.
They're at Baltimore, so they're outdoors. I just want to look at Minnesota real quick. Where
they're at Minnesota. I have Joseph. I'm starting Joseph this week.
Yeah, I could go.
Just me personally.
I would go Joseph, and it's because they're indoors and going against a better matchup. I think it's going to be a rough go on the other end. So I'm going to go Joseph. Yeah.
Nice. And he said he'll see you Sunday. So
yeah, he always sees me Sunday.
Let's go.
I love Patrick. Love having him every Sunday.
There it is. The Warriors thanking you for letting them know that Arizona was out 3 offensive linemen.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. They are down. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about it later. So we'll get into that later.
We're going to get into they're one of the last games at 4:00. So
all right, if we can get there, yeah. All right. So J Media, one more question, and then we'll get to the breakdown. The next breakdown. If St. Brown plays and wide receiver 2, he only got 10 points out of Pittman. Who do you flex? Hollywood Brown versus Philly or Kirk versus Houston? Yeah, Kirk, man.
I wouldn't even think twice. I understand Brown gets value or gets the volume, but tough, yeah, Philly against the pass, man. Don't do it.
Yeah. And I'm not even the biggest Kirk fan. So, and if I'm saying Kirk, probably go Kirk.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on. All right, we'll get to it. Dolphins at Jets, man. We got the Dolphins favored by 3 here with their backup quarterback and Teddy Bridgewater. We got a 45-point over/under. Got some guys coming back. Xavier Howard dealing with that groin injury. You will see if he's healthy. They said he played last game, and then of course we all saw him end up leaving. Tyreek Hill popped up on the injury report late. Tell me about who we're starting, who we're sitting here in this game.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And Perry wanted to make it clear it wasn't Little, it was Waller. So Waller. It was one of the two. I think it was Kittle or Waller. If anything, I'd go with Waller over Kittle. But that's just me.
Yeah. It sucks that you have to even give anything with Pitts to get any other tight end. He was the 3rd tight end drafted off the board. Like, to me,
hey man, I have a guy.
You made your bed, you got to lay in it. Like, I would just keep him.
We had Kyle Letterman, who I had on here in the beginning of this, beginning of the offseason, and me and him have been talking a lot. And he was really big on Pitts, and it's actually kind of funny if you look. He has a banner on his Twitter, and he made it for himself, like this really big thing. And
I saw that. Everyone's
Trey Lance and Javonte on one side, and Bateman and Pitts on the other, and I'm just laughing because they're all hurt and done. So it's like we had a good laugh about that. But
Kyle and I are fellow Reapers.
Yes.
We got to be like Fantasy Reapers. I'm going to start like a whole new group.
The
Fantasy Reapers. Yeah. Are you the guy that always drafts the guys and they get hurt? Come join the Reapers, baby. The roster Reapers. All right, man. So let's get back into this Dolphins-Jets game where we
mean, if Waddle and Hill are playing, you're playing them. Right now, they're both questionable. Tyreek Hill popped up on the injury report on Thursday with a quad injury. So it's just something to keep an eye on. They kept saying that McDaniels kept saying that he's hopeful for Tyreek to play. That scares me a little bit. That's one of those things where I'm like, ooh. They don't really have much depth after him. They have Seafield, if memory serves me right. The guy's name is Seafield. He played for the 49ers at one point.
Sherfield.
Sherfield. There we go. So for me, I don't know what to do in that game. Right now, the biggest question for them is the running backs. I think Raheem Mostert's probably the best play in that. Emmons can still get some value, but he's a little low-end flex play in my opinion. Breece Hall also popped up on the report. He's good to go, though. He should be a okay play. Garrett Wilson has been impressive lately. I mean, he looks a lot better than I thought he would. I wasn't really a big fan of him. Oh, they do have Cedric Wilson too.
He was a hot waiver ad a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, and Ron brings up a good point. They have Cedric Wilson, but I'm not really a fan of him. He keeps getting hurt too. Let me just double check to see if he was on the report because I remember something about him being out as well. Said Wilson, he played. It looks like he practiced in full. He should be available. So, I mean, they paid him. It is what it is. Cedric Wilson should be there, but I keep seeing Sherfield in there too, more than I see Wilson. But one of those two guys, I'm probably not going to play those guys.
Yeah, I'm only starting Hill and Tyreek on that side of the ball.
I would maybe play Gesicki if those two were down, but other than that, only if Tyreek and or Waddle are down. If they're both out, I can play Gesicki and feel okay about it. That's just me. Garrett Wilson, I think, should be fine. I think the biggest question for them is Elijah Moore. He's kind of fell out of grace. Corey Davis has kind of stepped up a little bit. He's more of a wide receiver 3-play flex, if that. Conklin has actually been playing pretty well. I think he's tight end 5 on the year or whatever it is. So he's fine. I actually called Conklin in the beginning of the year, so I'm going to take that credit right there.
Remember, they did pay Usman. He is coming back off that ACL, so
he's hurt.
Don't take your victory lap quite yet. They might work him back in later.
They might. He was hurt for a minute. I remember him being hurt last week. He's not on the injury report, but they've been doing a lot more with. They use Usman for a blocker, and they use Conklin as more of an inline route guy. So for me, I like Conklin better. They find ways to get him open. So
all right. So we'll move on, man. Let's get to this. Since we've been talking a lot about Pitts here, Atlanta Falcons at Tampa Bay Bucks. We got the Bucks favored by 10 in this one. 46.5 point over under. We got Brady getting his weapons back. Looked like Godwin's officially off the injury report. So nothing lingering, no questionable, tag or anything heading in. We have obviously Mike Evans coming off a big game last week. Julio, we might have a Julio sighting for a quarter, and then he pulls up with the hammy. Like normal. It's in my head because that's what's going to happen if he even plays at all. But either way, I think I finally dropped him in their guillotine league because I finally found someone to pick him up with. But because I had Godwin and Evans, so I had like all the Tampa Bay receivers there. Either way, we got that all straightened out. So tell me, I mean, we're definitely starting, those guys, Evans, Godwin, Fournette, Brady, they're definitely safe to start. We got Cameron Braid out. I'm just going to kind of take this Tampa side. I'll let you
go ahead.
Since I basically ran through it already. Didn't mean to do this long of an intro for you.
Honestly, that's exactly what I would have said anyway.
Okay.
The only other options are on the Atlanta side, Atlanta Falcons side is Drake London. I mean, he's the only guy that I'd probably play out of that group. And to be honest,
I'm playing Algier.
Huh? Oh, no.
I'm playing Algier if you need to. Like, if you've been hurt, you had Cordell go down, you were able to get Algier. I mean, we all know Tampa Bay defense and stuff. Like, it's not going to run against them. I'm not saying he's a start of the week or anything like that, but you have the volume. He's going to have the role. Hopefully they get, who knows? You can have a pass interference in the end zone and they get the ball on the 1 and he gets to run it in for a touchdown. Like, that's like best case scenario. That's what you're hoping for. Or they just get down on the goal line and, they give them an opportunity to score. They have actually been running. I don't think Atlanta has, trailed any game by more than 4 points. Like they've been in every game. So they're not really as bad as you thought. Bucks haven't been playing great. They're kind of just starting to get 17. Their groove back. Yeah. We'll kind of see. Sorry, I didn't mean to take that over.
No, you're fine. I would not take Algier in this game just because I know how good that Bucks defense is, and they're going to focus on that. That they're going to let Mariota throw the ball, and that's the whole point. There's no one else to throw to other than Drake London. They have Zacchaeus and they have Darby, and they haven't even been throwing it to Brian Edwards, which is sad for me. But at the same time, I mean, honestly, I think they're going to just run the damn ball. They want to keep the offense off the field. Yes, he'll get volume, but I think that the Bucks aren't stupid. Todd Bowles knows what he's doing on defense. I think they're going to shut down the run so that they are forced to pass. And they have a elite defense. This isn't a defense.
But also remember too, they do have a running quarterback, so it could open up some holes and kind of put them in different
get it.
situations where they're going to get the defense to think, a little more than just being able to react. So again, yeah, we'll see. That's why we play the games.
They're good at contain. They have good fast guys off the edge. I get it. I get your argument to try to get Algier to be who he is, but I just don't see this being the game he does well.
No, this isn't like his breakout week. I'm just saying, like, if you're in a tough spot and you need
you're gonna have to play him
that RB.
Yeah,
you had Javonte Williams go down, and this is the guy you got. You're playing him. I have him. I mean, don't get me. I have him RB 33, so it's not like I'm expecting anything great. So okay, so we're the same. So
flex play.
Don't come at me crazy.
But I have a different view on it. That's my thing. We
took different paths. We got different paths, but we got to
put him on.
Result.
You can put him on your bench for this week.
Probably where he belongs. Yeah. But with us, hero RB builds, these are the guys we're living for.
So, Den boys, here's the thing. I like Garrett Wilson, but I'm not going to trade him because my team is actually pretty stacked. So, joke's on Junior.
They're working out trades in there. Good stuff. All right, so we'll get on to this.
I haven't even gotten a trade offer at all. The only one I got was from Wilson, and I'm not taking it.
Everyone got a trade offer from Wilson. Keep them coming, Wilson. I should have probably done that Najee for a Connor trade. It was just garbage for garbage. It looked like the Connor side was.
He did.
He did. I still think I'd rather have Connor.
He did Cousins for my Cousins for his Derek Carr, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I like Cousins.
Yeah, I'd probably stay on the Cousins side too. Until you see him start lighting it up with Devontae, and then you might be like, oh, I should have done that. But then he won't want to trade him then. All right, so we got Tennessee Titans at Washington Commanders. We got the Titans favored by only 2, but they are on the road. 43-point over/under. Tell me about this game here. I'll try not to take it over. I'll let you take this one.
I mean,
I need a sip anyway.
No, you're good. There's a few injuries that are, major here, mostly on the wide receiver side for both teams. Right now, the Tennessee Titans have Treylon Burks. He's going to be out for this one. Looks like Robert Woods will probably step in and, take over. He actually did well after Burks went down. Kyle Phillips is somebody you guys should be keeping your eye on, especially for this game. They are 30th against the pass. He is one of the top receivers in the league based on targets per route run. So for me, I am keeping my eye really close on Kyle Phillips. I think he's someone that if you have a bench spot available, he's definitely someone that you should take. Right now on the Commander side of the ball, Joan Doxson, he's going to be out for this game. So Curtis Samuel, and we talked about Terry McLaurin before. He's been underwhelming. I'm fading Antonio Gibson in this one. I mean, Titans are 8th against the run. For me, he's a flex play at best, and I really don't even want to play him unless I have a better option.
Brian Robinson, baby.
Yeah, I would hope Brian Robinson gets his start back. And if I
thought you were leaving that for me.
I'll let you. You got it, but that's my point. I'm not even that high on Brian Robinson playing this week. He's a great story. Don't get me wrong. I love his whole thing going on, and I understand he's come through a ton of adversity, and I really hope that good things come his way. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's this week. I think he will evolve into their starting running back, and it will work in itself. But at this point, I think it's going to be Gibson. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to play him. Like, I don't feel comfortable playing him at all. You're playing Henry. You're not playing Tannehill. You're maybe playing Wentz if you really want to, but I don't think so.
Man.
Wait. Hold on. I have to clear the air here. Junior's the one with Wilson. You offered him trash for him. No, I actually didn't offer Junior anything. I haven't offered one trade anywhere, to be completely honest. So I think you're getting bad information from your son.
Ooh, call him out. He's in
I am. I can show you guys my transition list right now. I haven't made one trade with anybody.
Man.
Or offered.
That's funny. Let's see. Oh, look, Ron Saney is playing Algier, but then he is hating on me for Brian Robinson, though. So
yeah, I saw that.
He was the starter, man. Within hours of him being named the starter.
Oh, he was.
I can go back and show you the post.
No, he was going to be starter until he got shot.
He was the starter, and then he got shot. And you're right. Yeah.
It was week 3. I think it was week 3 of the preseason. They said that he was going to be the starter, and he ran like the starter. And then all of a sudden, Antonio, he just got shot, and Gibson took over. So.
Absolutely. What up? Fantasy Frontline in the house, making an appearance again. Our new show. Make sure you go check them out. Check out their YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I see. I'm almost out of here. I'm almost on my hard out. But we'll try to get it here. Yeah, I'm starting to fade here a little bit, but I'll get
if you need to go, man, we're going right into the 4:00. So we're almost done.
I have to get my Niner game in here. Maybe I'll take off after this.
Take your Niner game.
Let's do it, man. So we got the Niners at the Carolina. It's Niners and CMC. It's like this is all my game. All my game. All right, so we got Niners at Panthers. We got Niners favored by 6.5. Only a 39.5 point over under here. Obviously should be a good game for Wilson. We've been kind of talking about that. Hopefully he finds the end zone. I think it's, probably I'm not really starting Ayuk this week. I don't,
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be more like a Debo show. Maybe they get Kittle worked in a little bit, or maybe they can just have success running the ball. Here, Ayuk will still have some plays, but I don't think he goes crazy. Of course, because I say that, he'll probably have like 80 and a touchdown on 6 catches. It was Spitta. Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, Spitta trying to take advantage. There you go. Let's go, Jay Media. But yeah, man, obviously the Trent Williams injury is hurting us. Yeah. I think it does kind of limit the upside for Kittle, but obviously with the injury to Trey Lance, we like having Jimmy back at the helm, I think helped with Kittle as far as his like initial outlook. And he never really played with Lance. Obviously he was hurt, and then Lance got hurt, and then Kittle came back the game after. So he never really even got started with the Jimmy era, if you will. So hopefully those two can get connected back again. We saw them, have a little flash of that the last game, didn't quite need it, so to speak. But we'll see. I think CMC will have a decent game. If they throw him the ball in PPR, but I do have him as my RB12 this week. I don't understand why this offense isn't RB19. Running through. We're not too far off. You have to give me credit for having him at 12. Like, I think that shows some
for you. Yes,
that's what I mean. Like growth. For me, that shows something there. And again, it's also he's playing my Niners, so I had to drop him down.
No, you got to put him lower, man. Lower,
definitely. But I do have him still right actually ahead of Wilson, just because I think McCaffrey has a higher chance of scoring a touchdown over Wilson, just because of the Debo factor. Which is kind of what made that split. Like maybe I could put Williams ahead of those guys and Herbert, but I still don't feel too comfortable, with the defenses those two are going against, which is why I kind of had them, settle in around that RB12 area. But yeah, again, you're sitting DJ Moore at this point. I don't think you can really put him in until we see anything. Like we need to see a game. Like we need to prove it game.
Well, he put up 10 we feel last comfortable. Week. He was 10 points decent. And half point. That's decent game.
Yeah, but he needs they need to literally throw him the ball 4 or 5 times on the first drive. They need to have scripted plays for him to get him involved early and try to open other things up and just have a better offense overall. I think they're one of the bottom of the teams, bottom 2 or 3 teams as far as plays ran. I think they've only ran on average 49.
They've had too many turnovers though. Yeah, I think Baker has a turn. I think Baker has a turnover a game. I think he has at least 1 interception or fumble each game. Yeah. So they've been definitely there. I think I got to look up their margins, but they are probably one of the worst teams on offense recently. I completely agree with you with DJ Moore. They need to pass him the ball more. Honestly, they don't pass to anybody else. They don't really get Robbie involved, and Laviska Shenault's out. So DJ Moore is not a horrible play, but the Niners are top 10 in both categories. They are first against the rush and they're fourth against the pass. They're not, I don't want to play anybody against them this week. CMC, I have him at 20 at running back 19, and that for me, honestly, he's more of a mid-range RB2 this week at best, and that's really my feeling about him. You're not playing Baker. You're not playing Thomas or any of the freaking guys on that side. I'm playing, Debo, of course. Debo's a man. That guy. And remember that I'm going to say this one thing about Jeff Wilson to, put your mind at ease. they haven't really targeted Debo on the out, like for the goal line. They've actually been running, Jeff Wilson on those like 5-yard
goal line. Yeah, they like Debo in that like 10 to 18 yard range.
No, I agree. And
they like putting him in there.
And Debo's scored his most of his touchdowns on like 30 to 50-yard runs. Like we saw that run that he made. Whew, just that cross route that quick curl route that he ended up turning into a touchdown from like 60 yards.
56.
Whew, doesn't matter.
It was one of those like
beautiful
plays that like looked like it was out of a
broken
movie.
tackles.
Yeah, because it looked like it was out of a movie. Like it didn't even look like he was running fast. Like it just was like people taking wrong angles and just.
It was the opposite of what Calvin Ridley did in the like whenever Calvin Ridley was like wide open and then you would see him just fall. Same concept. Like
I remember that whole thing.
Back, he would be running down the field like all by himself, nothing in front of him, and he'd like do the cut back so that the guy, like the defender, might go by him, but it was really to like fall on the ground so that he didn't have to get the touchdown. Like all those things. Like Debo's a man. That guy just freaking runs until he gets in.
Gonna throw Ridley out there for throwing games because he's betting, huh? Oh, what are we saying here?
Hey man, when I got to watch a couple films of it. You see it, man. You see
He's suspended. We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, man. So that pretty much wraps it up about the Niners. I mean, I have Garoppolo, I think, in the bottom still so far.
Yeah, he's still
not
like
really. I think he's the only name we didn't really mention as far as the start sit. Otherwise, I think that pretty much wraps up, that game there. And on that note, I do got to take my heart out now, so I'll let you finish up from here. The throat's pretty much had it at this point, so I'm done. I'm starting to get the little sweat fever going back here.
Go get some sleep.
And with the cough. So I'm trying to get myself better. Hopefully get you guys back here on Monday. But good luck to all you guys, man. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you get into the description, join our sleeper channel. You can post, pictures of your team there, trade questions, start sit questions, whatever you need, drop it in the thread. You can also get a hold of us, send us a DM on Twitter. I'm at Rastafarian on both Twitter and Sleeper, so hit me up there. So again, other than that, get your trophy from Trophy Smack. Make sure you hit that Underdog promo too before you go. Promo code Get Right. And again, we appreciate all you guys. And on that note, I'm out.
Later, brother.
Take care, man.
Yeah, tell him to stop apologizing. He's fine. No worries. I would answer Legacy real quick. I know I answered to you in the channel. You said, would you put Godwin, Mike Williams, Kamara, or Dobbins in? I'm going to go with Dobbins here. I think he's the better play, in my opinion. I think Dobbins is just a overall better play. I'd rather take the running back that I'm guaranteed the touches. So that's just me. All right, we're going to jump into one of the next 4:00 games. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals. Eagles are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 48.5 points. One thing, like I said before, the Eagles are, first, let's talk about the Eagles. Eagles are missing a few pieces on defense, but I think they're going to do just fine. They're still one of the best DSTs out there this season. You're starting A.J. Brown. You're starting Miles Sanders. Sanders has actually been serviceable. He's going to be going against the 11th best rush defense in this, in the league right now, but he's getting volume. And recently he's been getting 67% of the snaps. Right now, Boston Scott is questionable. So if he's out, he will have a little bit more, I like him a little more if Boston Scott is out, in my opinion. Devontae Smith, it is what it is. Goddard's not a bad play as well. But for this team, I would prefer not to play him. I think Isaiah Simmons and Budda Baker are actually pretty good at stopping the tight end. So for me, I would probably avoid Goddard unless you have no other option, of course. On the Arizona side of the ball, Rondale Moore looks like he'll be questionable for this one. The biggest news, like I said before, they are missing out 3 guys on their offensive line. Rodney Hudson, Max Garcia, and Justin Pugh Justin Pugh got in a limited practice this week, but Max Garcia and Rodney Hudson, both of them did not practice at all this week. They're going to be out. So for me, I don't want any part of the run game. If I cannot play Connor, I won't. I think the only person that I would play in this particular offense is Zach Ertz. I think he's the best option for you right now. If Rondale Moore is out and it's only Marquise Brown, I might want to maybe take a look at Greg Dortch, just because I don't know. I don't have him that high, but I would still think about playing him at one way or another. I don't think I would play him over a lot of people, but that's only if Moore is out. He was very disappointing last week. I was very disappointed I dropped him. But it's one of those things that he was serviceable when Moore was out. I think they kind of cancel each other out in a lot of ways. Kyle Murray to me is a low QB1. I don't want to play him unless I have to. That line is going to get beat up, and they're going to have a lot of trouble with this, Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. So that's how I feel. All righty, next. We got the last game of the 4 o'clocks is the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 42.5. I mean, is this the last week for Cooper Rush? Maybe. I think he'll be in next week, but that's just me. Right now, CD is fine to play. I think, right now, I would just lower your expectations. Same with Elliott. Yeah, I know you guys, the Eagles are undefeated. It's okay. Just remember the Giants are right behind you. Right now, you're lowering your expectations with CeeDee Lamb. The defenses in this game are going to be the talk. I think this is the closest thing to the game that we saw on Thursday than anything. I think these are 2 beat up O-lines and really good defenses. I think Elliott should do okay, but, Rams are pretty good against the run. Schultz, I'm not playing unless I have to. I wouldn't really play anything else. So, I love you, Ronald. Rams side of the ball, I really don't like anyone here except for Cooper Kupp. Rams are, they're decimated on their O-line. I think they lost their second center and they're on their third. So they're going against one of the best pass rushing teams in the league in Dallas. Dallas has the most sacks in the league at this point. Stafford right now is not going to get a ton of time to throw. So Higbee should be a decent option. I really wouldn't play Akers or Henderson at this point. After last week, Akers didn't do that great. He actually only had 38% of the snaps compared to Henderson, who had 59. So for me, these guys, I don't like this backfield. It keeps going back and forth. It's unfortunate. I really like Henderson more. I think Henderson had a little more burst and a little bit more play than Akers did in the last game. So it is what it is. Don't even get me started about Allen Robinson. I am benching him until I see 2 weeks of production. It's just unfortunate. The guy, they're using him to get Cooper Kupp open. That's exactly what they're doing. And they're looking to use Robinson more as a blocker than they are as a receiver. So that makes no sense to me. I think that he is more than talented, but he's a guy that everyone wants to just drop. I want to drop him, but he, to me, is the second wide receiver on a good, and he's the clear second wide receiver on a good team. I mean, they're getting Schwarzenegger a little bit more involved than they are, him, which I find ridiculous. Van Jefferson should be back soon. I think when he gets back, it should open things up a little bit more for Robinson, because then, Jefferson can open things up downfield and, Allen Robinson can kind of play underneath. So we'll have to see how that goes. But like I said, Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, those guys I'll play. Maybe I'll definitely play Kupp regardless. I'm not playing Stafford. Not playing the running backs either unless I have to. So moving on, we're going to go to the Sunday night game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 3.5. The over-under is 48 points. So, this looks like, they think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think this is the third highest point spread other than the Monday night game. There are no real big injuries here. So that's always a good thing. I'm just going to double-check my math here. Oh, there are a few, actually. Rashad Bateman, he will be out for this particular game. Justice Hill as well will be out. And that's why I'm going to bring up J.K. Dobbins. I think he's I think he's a strong play this week. His snaps have only they've only gone up. He got 45 and then 50% this week, or last week. Justice Hill is going to be out. Like I said, that's huge. And he's the backup to Dobbins. You haven't really seen Mike Davis used at all. despite Bengals being 7th best against the run, I think he'll be fine. Devin Duvernay is going to step in as the wide receiver 2 this week, and I'm only saying that because Mark Andrews is number 1. Mark Andrews was underwhelming last week, but he's going to have good weeks. He's going to have bad weeks. For him, it's, he's either going to be 30 points or he's going to be 5. Just take what you're given. The only guy that I'm maybe worried about is Ronnie Stanley. And it looks like, they said ankle. He got 2 full practices. I think they're going to have him playing, so he should be fine. Bengals side of the ball, there's not really much going on. Hayden Hurst looks like he might be on the other side of questionable. We'll see. It looks like he didn't practice on Friday, but that doesn't mean much to me. He might play. If he doesn't, I think I like Tyler Boyd a lot in this game. I think he should be fine. Baltimore is 22nd against the pass. So I think he'll be fine. I think in this particular game, Joe Mixon is going to be a smash play. Hopefully he can get the line a little bit better. He sat down with the O-line this week and he basically sat them down and said, let's figure this out. He literally just keeps running into the back of his lineman. He's got to find a way to do better. Like I said, I like Tyler Boyd here. I think he could do fine. Of course, you're playing, Chase and Higgins as well. Lamar is definitely a play. This game should have a lot of points. So we'll see what happens there. Last but not least, we got the Monday night game. We got the Las Vegas Raiders going against the Kansas City Chiefs at the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 7. The over-under is 51.5, the highest of the week. Raiders should have Renfro back from a concussion. It looks like he practiced in full. Waller practices well. He should be good to go as well. This should be a good matchup on both sides. In my opinion, I think they're going to try their best to make this Monday night game better than Thursday night. I do like Jacobs here. I think Devontae Adams should be fine as well. I'm going to sit Carr if I have better options. But if, you're in that situation, then Carr's your guy. Hey, what's going on, Dr. Clutch? How you doing, brother? Hope all is well. If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes. So make sure you guys get your questions in before we get out of here. Whew. So next is CH. I would definitely play CH this week. I know his usage has been kind of going down, but he's being productive with the usage that he's getting. He's definitely someone that you can probably sell high if he has a good game against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 16th against the run, 22nd against the pass. So for me, it's hard to tell what Mahomes might do in this. I can't gauge these Kansas City receivers with Juju and MVS and Harmon. Like, it's so hard to figure out what the hell they're doing over there. Juju's probably the better option. MVS, I just don't trust. The guy dropped like 2 touchdowns like right in front of him. The guy has bricks for hands, and I've been saying it for years. So it is what it is. I can't do it. I can't do it. So, other than that, I think that's who you're playing here. I think, Adams, Renfro. I think Renfro should be okay. I think Mal Collins is going to take a step back. So I think Collins is one of those players that people are high on. I don't know if they're going to keep him as heavily involved as they were. I think Renfro will come back in and just, take his role back without a problem. I think Waller should be fine in this matchup as well. He might have a rough day, but they're going to use him. They usually do. And he usually performs on a Monday night stage. So, all righty. So that was the last game of the week. We actually wrapped up pretty quick. I'm actually pretty stoked about that. We're not going on. Holland is a bum. We talking about Hollins? There we go. Hollins is a bum. Yeah, he is. But the guy was producing for 2 weeks, and he was the wide receiver 2 on week 3, if memory serves me. So I would take that any day. So, all right, just going to throw some few things out there real quick. We got our good friends over here at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys are using the promo code GETRIGHT. When you use the promo code GETRIGHT, they will match your first deposit, anything up to $100. So make sure you guys do that. They do have Best Ball Resurrection going on. It's a $10 entry to win $100,000. It's from week 6 to 17. So get your lineups in now. They're also doing Pick'em as well. The rivalry picks and more. So make sure you guys are doing those as well. We'll do those on Sunday morning when I am back here. We will be back here at 11 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. I'll have the Giants game in the background. For me, it'll probably be halftime. So, yeah. So, Dr. Clutch, 10-man PPR, need a flex. All righty. And a wide receiver, too. So, you need 2 people. You got Deontay Johnson, Zay Jones, DJ Moore, AJ Dillon, Elijah Moore, Jeff Wilson, Tyler Algier, Julio Jones, and George Pickett. All right. So a little bit about me and the way that I like to pick things. For flex, I rather have a guy that I know that's going to get the production. For me, that's Jeff Wilson. So flex, I feel comfortable with him. The next would be probably Deontay Johnson, even though he has a really tough matchup and is getting Kenny Pickett as his quarterback. I think that's probably your best option out of these 2. I don't like DJ Moore. I think it's hard for him to do well. Elijah Moore, we just don't. It's not been steady, and Zach Wilson isn't one to spread the ball around. Zay Jones is coming off an injury, and he's questionable at this point. They did say he will play. I think for me, it's Deontay, Zay Jones, and then it goes the other 2. I'd say Deontay, Zay Jones, DJ Moore, Elijah Moore. I can't even put Julio into that. I would probably put Pickens at the end of Moore. So I'd put Pickens above Elijah Moore. But for me, flex play, I'm definitely going to play Jeff Wilson. I think Jeff Wilson's your best bet. He gets the volume, good matchup. That's just me. So hope that helped you, Dr. Clutch. Hope that helps anybody else that had that same particular situation. Let me double check to make sure I gave you the right stuff. Yeah, no, I would definitely do that. All righty. So we just did the Underdog Fantasy. Also, make sure you guys check out Trophy Smack. Like we said, all this is in the description. We just got a new friend and affiliate, so we are, and sponsor. I mean, these guys have wonderful things. I'm going to show you guys real quick. They got the rings, custom design. You can put anything you want on these. They are fantastic, great quality. You got trophies as well. These are really nice trophies that you see. Made any way that you want them. You can see that you can put the names underneath it and everything. It's all customizable. Pictures that you want to add, whatever you want. They have chains that you can wear as well. You can put your custom design in there as well. I saw one in there for Ron Burgundy. They had one, and it was pretty cool looking. And then they have their belts, of course. These belts are really well made, really great company. Really glad that we are sponsored with them and doing a great thing there. So also, let's not forget, make sure you guys tell a friend. Make sure you guys get more people involved. We have the 600 subscriber giveaway as well. We're giving away a signed Gabe Davis jersey. So make sure you tell your friends. Make sure you can get there. We're at 530 at this point. We got only 70 more subscribers that we need. So please reach out to your friends. Let them know. I know it's a little tough because no one wants to give away the good secrets of us. But at the same time, it's always nice to have more people. This is just a better picture of it if you really want to take a good look at it. It's a great jersey. Really excited to get this thing out and given away as soon as we can. Make sure, like I said before, you guys are checking out our affiliates that are new to here. Like I said, right up here is the Check Down Podcast with Cody and all the guys over there. Great podcast. Really, really check them out. They should, really like them over there. Also, you got AJ and Tim with the Fantasy Frontline. They did a show this evening. But make sure you guys check them out as well. Great group of guys. Really, really happy to have them here. So make sure you guys are checking them out as well. So, Dem Boys with a question. Almost my entire team is injured. Joshua Palmer or ETN? That's a great question, actually. For me, I'd probably lean towards, I want to say ETN, just because of the more valued target compared to, James Palmer. I do like both of them a lot. Half point PPR, I might lean ETN. Anytime it's half, I'm going to lean a little more to the running back. I do like ETN in this matchup against Houston. Even if my narrative, which I think that they're going to run the ball with James Robinson, he's not as efficient. they might pass the ball or the baton over to ETN during the game. So, Ron agrees with me. I think ETN might be the better play here. Even though, like I said, I really do like Josh Palmer. I think some other people might be in that scenario. So, I'm going to go with ETN. Like I said, make sure you guys check us out on Sunday. I will be back here at 11 o'clock. We're going to do actives, inactives, go over all the injuries and, storylines leading up to the 1 o'clock games. I'll be here from 11 o'clock to 12:30. We'll do some DFS. We're going to do some pro pick'em. We'll also do, like I said, the actives and inactives at 11:30. I'll, also peek into the Giants and Packers game as it is going on. Of course, I'm going to be watching that. It's one of the rare occasions I get to watch the Giants without anything else going on. So, alrighty. So unless anyone has any other questions that they want to throw in the chat, we're going to wrap this one up real quick. So make sure, like I said, you guys check out our affiliate podcast. Make sure you check out the description below. Also, make sure you guys check out our Sleeper channel. We have our very cool group of guys. Everyone's there. If you don't have Sleeper already, here's the QR code for you. Make sure you guys check out the Sleeper community that we have. I do injury updates literally. It feels like all day. But make sure you guys check that out. We make sure that you guys have the up-to-date injury news. I get it in before Sleeper. At least I try. As long as Adam Scheffler isn't the one posting it or Ian Rappaport. Sleeper usually gets on them pretty quick, but I pretty much can get it. I've actually gotten it a couple times before Ian Rappaport or Adam Scheffler. They must be using the can or driving. So either way, please check us out on that channel. Den Boys saying great night classic, great show. Always a pleasure to have you here, Den Boys. Tell that little guy I'm not gonna worry about that little guy. Sorry. I'm excited to have a nice matchup against him. Should be fun. He's going against a powerhouse this week. It's 150. Forgot the exact projections for this game, but if memory serves, there it is, 153 to 133. So he's already at a disadvantage, my friend. Hopefully he does well. He's doing pretty good, actually. He's 2-2 if memory serves me right. So, 2-2, 6th place at this point. So should be proud of the kid. Doing well. I'm just going to poke a little fun while I can. All right, all. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. To, make sure you guys check us out again on Sunday. For Dustin, for Frank, for good old Anthony Rasta. Glad to have him here. Hope he's feeling better. We will see you guys on Sunday.